It's such an honor to be here, and I'm so grateful to Lucien for having invited me, because I feel that part of me is part of you, and part of me is Puerto Rico. I can't tell you how much I love Puerto Rico. Every time I start talking about it, as some of the people who work with me will let you know, I start to cry. I can't stop it because Puerto Rico is so beautiful. Puerto Rico opened its arms to me when I was brokenhearted coming here after Jack Kennedy's death. I worked in the Kennedy campaign in New York City, and I worked at the UN. And when President Kennedy was killed, I felt that I had to leave New York. I had to get away. I didn't want to think about it anymore. So I said, well, where should I go? And I called my grandmother, and my grandmother lived in Haiti. And she says, oh, you don't want to go to Puerto Rico, you want to go to Haiti. I said, oh, that's fine, I'll go to Haiti. Well, I went to Haiti, and I lived there a few years, happily. My brother was born there. Actually, I was born there. And after a while, I wanted a little more. And that's when I decided on Puerto Rico. And it's been one of the greatest experiences of my life. I've met the most fabulous people here. I've learned more about people, people of different colors, people of different races, people of different languages, and the fact that everybody is always there for everybody in Puerto Rico. We're panas. We're related to each other. And we care about each other. When something happens in a family or in the street, like in Calle Loíza, when Calle Loíza was almost destroyed, we felt it. And that's why in our holiday book, there's a lot about Calle Loíza. I'm going to do something that is not very ladylike. I'm going to take off these shoes, because I can't talk when I have shoes that hurt my feet. That was my husband's idea. He likes these shoes. He gave me those shoes. I love these shoes, but I can't talk in these shoes. I can't move with these shoes. And I can't see you closer if I'm behind these shoes. But anyway, Puerto Rico is my home. Puerto Rico stands for me more important than the USA, believe it or not. I love Puerto Rico, and I feel that Puerto Rico has a history that is in all of us. And when we go anywhere, and you say you're from Puerto Rico, they look at you in a different way. You're special. We're neither here, we're neither there. We're Puerto Rico. And we'll always be, I believe. I would like to speak to you a little bit about how I came to Puerto Rico after Jack Kennedy died, and why I did not go to Haiti. Because my grandparents were very sick. I went, and I buried them. I buried my father in Haiti, and then I came to Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico has been my haven ever since. There is no other place that I would rather be. And oh, what wonderful people I have met here. I have here some of my staff. I don't even know where they are, but I hope they're here. Yaritza Torres, where are you? Mildred Marcano, where are you? Nowhere? Stand up, please. Aha! We share a life together, the girls and I. I have 75 employees. And what do we share? We share Puerto Rico. And whenever we get together in the morning, whatever we do, whatever we talk about, whatever article we decide to sell, whatever trip we go on to look for new things, it always comes back. Will it fit in Puerto Rico? And the girls, and it's really, I always call them the girls. There's one man that works for me. 75 employees, one man. So it's very much a female-oriented group. I would like to know if any of you have any questions, because I'm really pretty good at answering questions. And when people ask me questions, then I will remember something that I've forgotten. So is there anybody that wants to ask me any questions? I'm really an open book. Yes. You make one. Because that's the only way to survive. When Cayo Isa was destroyed, really almost destroyed by the hurricane, we had a whole different topic that we were going to write about. It wasn't Cayo Isa. But suddenly, when that happens, I knew that Cayo Isa was the most important thing for us to write about, which is why our catalog this year starts with the foreword of Cayo Isa, which was almost destroyed. When you find hurt and you find a necessity, you have to be there. You have to take the reins. You have to stand up. You have to speak. Never, never don't speak. Never don't say what's in your heart. Always be you, because there's no two yous. You have to know that. There's only one of you, and one of you is different from anybody else. There's not two people that are the same, not even identical twins. So you have to know that the power you have in you of being what you want to be and doing the things you want to do, and I don't care if nobody else is doing them, better still, do it. Do it. Never shirk away from an idea that you have, that you want to do, something you'd like to do, something you've dreamed of doing in your dreams, and you think, well, I can't do it. Forget it. Never use the word can't. N''T. Cannot, should not exist for anybody in this room. I know who I am. And that is probably the most important words in the English language. I know who I am. And when you know who you are, nobody is ever going to change you. Nobody is ever going to bring you down. I'm not a motivational speaker. I've never done this before, actually. But I know who I am. And if you know who you are, you teach your children who they are. And then you teach your grandchildren who they are. And I'm really lucky that I have all these people that I can help. And they have taught me a lot. I mean, my granddaughter, Rosanna, who flew down to Puerto Rico 5 times with planes full of food and water. I'm in awe of her. She's my granddaughter. And in your family, it's the same. You have gems in your family that maybe sometimes you forget about. Never forget those people, because they kind of made you become what you are. So family is very important. And this is one of the beautiful things about Puerto Rico, is that we care about family. And I can't say that about all the countries I've been in. But here, it's a nest that is there for you when you need it. Because we have great people and we have caring people. Do any of you have any other questions that you'd like to ask me? Yes, you. Antonin Velasco is responsible for me being in the jewelry business, and which is probably why I love the Velasco family and care about them so much. I used to work in Old San Juan in my husband's store, and one day I said to my husband, I said, I can't work here anymore. I need to be somewhere where it's fun and people and it's not heavy jewelry. And so Antolin suggested to me that I open up a little spot in the middle of Velasco. And that's where Reinhold really, really started, in that little spot. And I still have people, Grace, who works for me now, and she was one of the people. My daughter Robin was one of the people before she moved to the States. So we were a group, very tied together. And then things were going so well, I also opened up in Gonzales Padin. And slowly, things fell in my lap. I didn't plan that. I didn't know I'd ever be in the jewelry business. I didn't even know I was going to come to Puerto Rico. Everything happened unexpectedly. I had no plans. I was very fortunate. Things fell in my path, given to me by wonderful people who were caring. I guess I've been very lucky. And all of you, in you, have that luck. There's no such thing of not being lucky. You just have to know you have it and believe in yourself. Number one, always believe in yourself. Because in you, there is that person that will flourish and thrive and bring you the happiness that you deserve. Don't count on other people. Well, yes, I have an eye for design. I pick out, like for example, David Yurman. When I met David Yurman was in sandals, I was in sandals, he had jeans on, and I had short skirt on. And I said, oh, this is my first jewelry show. He says, oh, it's my first jewelry show too. Now, these are all accidents. And so I picked out 5 pieces, and I said, well, you know, I have a little jewelry store in Puerto Rico, in Velasco. Would you sell me some of your pieces? He says, of course. Okay, of course. And I bought them. I took them to Puerto Rico, and it began to sell. And then business went bad. Things went bad in Puerto Rico. Velasco closed. Everything changed. So I flew up to New York, and I'd become very good friends with David Yurman by that time. And I said, David, how's business? He says, terrible. Terrible. So I told him my story, how I had lost my store and I had to open again. And I sat there with him for about half an hour talking about how bad things are. And finally I said to him, I said, David, how is it possible that 2 people who love this business so much are so broke? And I mean, we were broke. And I said, well, we'll just have to believe in what we believe in. I believe in you, you believe in me, and we're going to be successful. And we have been. I'm the only person in the United States that has her own David Yurman store. You can only get that by knowing David Yurman. I'll be sure to tell him about this applause. It's for him, not for me. And anyway, with the little Yurman store, we grew, and then John Hardy wanted the store, so we added. And then somebody else wanted the store, and we added. And that's how it grew, but nothing was planned, including me talking to all of you, whom I'm enjoying seeing. I'm seeing all the faces. Some of them I know, some of them I don't know. I remember some of the dresses. I remember odd things, like sunglasses, or people's glasses, or a color that somebody always wears, a beret. Berets are always in my mind. I love berets. So anyway, I'm happy to answer any questions. That's really what I'm here for. Yes? It's very easy. I never think about the competition. I've never thought about another store. I always think about my store what's good for our store, what's good for my managers, my assistant managers, the people who work for my team. My team is what's very important for me. And when my team, I don't do anything without consulting my team. And we have to agree on a product. Yes, we're going to buy this. No, we're not going to buy this. And if we can't agree, we don't buy it. Now, if I'm positive about something in my gut, I'll say to my wonderful employees who are much younger than me, I'll say, you have to trust me on this one. That happens once in a while. Thank you guys, wherever you are. I couldn't do it without you guys. Come on, ask me another question. Those are really hard questions. Can you ask me one? One. I can answer one correctly. Okay, if I had to say, do I have any skills? Bottom of my heart, I would tell you I have no skills. I do it by feel. It comes by feel. It is not a skill. Because I listen to people a lot. I care about people a lot. I care about the people because if I didn't have jewelers who trusted me with their jewelry, I wouldn't be in the business. So I'm always aware that there are people that are better than me. And I love those people. And right now, sitting in front of you, I'm going to go home tonight and write some of the jewelers I do business with and say, oh my gosh, you don't know how lucky you are that you have all these people who love your jewelry. It's not my jewelry, it's their jewelry. I'm very aware that I'm number 2 in the field of jewelry. I'm the one that brings it to people, but I don't have the talent to make jewelry. I couldn't make a piece of jewelry if my life depended on it. I love it, and I love the artists. It's the artists that make the jewelry, not the people who sell the jewelry. And perhaps that's why the jewelry industry likes me, because they know that I love them. You could remember that. I have a store that's my store. It's a men's store. It's called Kiyume. And I was on a trip, and I heard the name Kiyume. And I turned to the man and I said, what does that mean? And he says, it means male in Swahili. So I said to my husband, that's the name of my store. And I had been thinking about a men's store for 5 years, but I couldn't find the right name. And until I got that name, I didn't want the store. So Kiyume is probably my very favorite store because I took it out of nothing and adore it. And I'm usually in Kiyume because I love it so much. Not that I love Reinhold, but Kiyume is my baby. Any other questions? Yes. My role models, I had 2, were my grandparents, who lost all their family in the World War II, who lost their daughter, their granddaughter, their son, lost many family members. And my grandparents taught me what it is to survive. And every night when I was a little girl, I would go to bed in my grandparents' bed, between the 2 of them, and tell them what I did all day. And that was the highlight of their life. They had lost all their family, but I was something new for them, and they cared for me. And to the day I die, I think my last thought will be for my grandparents, who made me me.